He hurt his calf in training camp. His star receiver, Jamar Chase, said, hey, don't even play for the first 5 weeks of the season. Chill until the bye week. We'll catch you then. But get this, just 30 minutes ago, his head coach, Zach Taylor, he said it's hard to say if his quarterback, Joe Burrow, will play Monday night against the Rams. Joy, let's talk about Joe. Are you worried about him at all?
In the micro, yeah, for sure, because he might not play on Monday night, and they ain't gonna win. Because I know what happened with the Rams yesterday, but the Rams have the best defensive player in the league, and they don't look as bad, anywhere near as bad as we thought they were going.
They playing good, though.
They're playing good, running the ball. Yeah.
They tough?
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell y'all that. No, I bailed. I will be honest, but I tried to tell y'all. That's not the point, though. Macro, I'm not worried about him at all. He's going to get healthy. This isn't something that is going to be a lingering thing over his career. And overall, we know what Joe Burrow is capable of. We all still feel he is the same player. We don't think he's regressed. I think this is an issue. Even the game yesterday, like, it wasn't like they got blown out.
Right.
He still was looking like himself throughout the game. He's just injured now, and it's concerning, especially since they started 0-2 and 0-2 in the division. You know, I don't like saying games are must-win games. No team since 2002 has started 0-2 with 2 division losses and made the playoffs.
Ugh. It's time to worry.
So it's a little worrisome. The AFC was always going to be tight to begin with. This division was always going to be tight. Depending on how things go tonight, it could get worse for them very quickly.
Very quickly.
So it's really concerning team-wise because you don't really feel like they have a chance without him. And this is something, you know how you go into a season injured, you're going to come out of it injured. There's no really time to rest. And this division and this conference, they're up against it.
Yeah, his calf hurt. Don't play with number 99 from the Rams because he's coming up the middle. You sitting out of this one. I mean, and the main reason you're sitting out because you ain't clicking on all cylinders anyway, right? This offense ain't been going the way that we all wanted to look, the way it looked last year with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd. It's not looking like that. And on top of you re-aggravating that calf, we do not need this to turn into 5-6 games, right? So if we can sit out and this can turn into 1 game and you could come back and you could be healthy for the rest of the season, let's do that. Or if you got to sit out 2 weeks and you could come back and be healthy for the rest of the season, let's do that. But we cannot come back and you limping and Aaron Donald is coming right up the middle because Aaron Donald is going to touch you in this game.
At least.
You know what I'm saying? He going to touch you, period. So for me, I'm worried because you have 2 superstars at the wide receiver position and this offense is looking the way it's looking. At one point, you just got to get simple. Run a hitch, get the ball out to Jamar Chase, let him do what he do. Run a go ball, give T. Higgins a chance to go up and make a play. Like, at one point, you got to be simple, and you got to let your playmakers make plays. They're trying to get too creative, and this offense is at a standstill. They're not moving the football consistently over these first 2 weeks. And now you just re-aggravated the calf. I'm worried about the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow.
You ever see Joe Burrow hit that cigar? Chilling, relaxing. Yeah, I ain't worried about Joe Burrow, man. It's Joe Burrow. Listen, last year around the same time, a guy named LeSean McCoy said, they're not going to make the playoffs. They look different. They're not the same. And sure enough, Joe Burrow and them boys, they ran it.
That's true.
Did they not run it?
That's true.
And they went to the AFC conference game.
You're not wrong.
So my thing is, we cannot panic on Joe Burrow. That's who he is. The reason why they paid him so much money. The Bengals out there, fans, don't be worried. Okay. Joe got this, right? Okay. And if he's healthy, he's going to play. And if he plays, you'll always have a chance. The same thing happened last year. Had all them picks against the Steelers. First game of the season, lost again, 0-2. And we all doubted the Bengals.
Here's my thought, though.
I won't do it this time again.
I'm worried. Really, I wasn't as worried until I heard James and Joy speak. And that got me more worried. Joe Burrow had 45 days off between aggravating his calf July 27th and September 10th, opening Sunday weekend of the NFL. That's 45 days, America. Joe Burrow might get 10 days off before the next game.
Yeah.
He might get 12 days off before the next game. They're now chasing this injury. Yeah. I don't want to speak of it. James, you were kind. We saw what calf injuries can turn into. We were all watching Aaron Rodgers. Yep. And if you weren't, you probably saw Kevin Durant, 2019 versus the Raptors. You've seen it. Calf injuries, they unfortunately turn into Achilles injuries.
Yeah,
so now you can't even risk Joe Burrow if you wanted to. So now I'm both worried in the micro, as Joy alluded to, because she mentioned, if the Browns beat the Steelers, the Browns are now 2-0 in the division. Bengals are 0-2 in the division. So I'm worried for that reason, just off rip. Then I'm worried from the macro perspective because you can't play catch-up with an injury like a calf.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, Shady, you brought it up, and you brought it up very well. He missed last year's training camp with appendix.
Yep, he did.
I think it was an appendix removal. Never had mine removed. Maybe someone up here has. Maybe you at home have. But I know that a calf strain will linger as opposed to an appendix, this, that, and the third. You can come back and keep it pushing. So that's the only reason I'm worried, Joy, about Burrow, both micro like you, but then even macro like you, James.
Yeah.
Well, when I say macro, I'm not worried. Like, I don't think that Joe Burrow has regressed. I don't think that the offense is not going to be able to find their way. I don't think that all the receivers aren't on the same page. Things that we do worry about with other teams, that when we see teams struggle. Like, okay, this looks different. It doesn't look the same as last year. Maybe they're not going to get back to where they were. That part I don't worry about, the stuff that you were talking about that happened last year. The reason why I'm worried this year is this injury. Obviously, Shady was very healthy, but like for the most part, when you have these kind of soft tissue injuries, they linger. They can turn into other things. You're compensating, then you hurt the other side of your body. We know how this goes, and he's just too important to this team. So now, like I said, you don't play him Monday. Maybe you win. Hopefully, you win, right? But if you don't, now you're 0-3 to start the season. That's different than 0-2. Then you have Tennessee, which, look, I didn't think much of Tennessee going into this year, but Mike
Vrabel gonna make them fight.
They figured it out. And Arizona, which we all think is trying to lose, but they look like they're trying to win. They look like they're trying to win. So there's that. So you have Seattle, and then you get the bye. So it's not like these teams going into the season, if I was to say, okay, he's going to miss the Rams game, you'd be like, cool, they can stay afloat. I don't know anymore. So it's more about this thing could slip away very quickly if he is not healthy.
Just know this. Last year, around the same thing.
It's true.
He went 10-1.
Yep.
And this,
But he wasn't injured last year.
Let me tell you something.
Man, I mean, quarterback calf. When people be hurt, I hate to speak for him because you don't know how they truly feel. Right? Now, he might feel bad today, but then later on, he might feel a little better. It is a calf. I mean, calves can get ugly, but maybe not. I don't think he'd be as explosive running around as a quarterback like you would think. So he might be okay.
Well, speaking of lack of explosivity, 2-5, going back to you on this one, big dog. You know ball. You know ball. You know it very, very well. Sure. Do the Broncos have...
Say it.
Take your time.
Go ahead and say it.
Do the Broncos have a Russell Wilson problem?
Well.
I'm going to say no. Yesterday, he showed me some flashes of the old Russ. Running when he had to run. Completing some passes when he had to complete them. But I just think that Russell, he's not fully Russ yet. He's getting closer, though. I mean, if you look from last year, what he did.
To this year.
To this year is a night and day. So I think the more he gets comfortable with Sean Payton's offense, the things they want him to do, the things they're trying to do, and I also just think that Russ is getting more comfortable. In his own shell. I think that'll be fine. They got to win in close ones, though. Like this game right here, they should have won this game. They were up 21-3 at half. You should have built on that when they had to, and they missed opportunities, though. But I think they'll be fine going forward.
Where do you have the Commanders going this season? Like, to the playoffs? You got them going to the playoffs?
I want to say no, but anything is possible.
Where you got the Commanders?
Probably bottom 10.
Yeah, you?
I don't know what's going on in the NFC, so.
Right, so, I mean, we all could possibly agree that the Commanders coming into this season is not a playoff team, right? So we talk about Russell Wilson. We talked about him week one. Like, could this be a week two? Could this be the game that they move on from Russ, right? He scored 33 points.
Yeah, they scored.
They scored 33 points. Previously, we like, man, if they just score over 18, they're going to win 7 games.
Right.
They scored 33, and you still find a way to lose. So this ain't a Russ problem. This is a team problem.
I agree.
Right? You lose in the close games, and then you go up in a football game scoring 33 points, and you find a way to give up an 18-point lead to the Commanders. No disrespect to the Commanders and Ron Rivera, but Ron Rivera was on a lot of the people's hot seats for coaches about to be fired if this thing didn't get turned around. So they weren't really that good of a football team or expected to be that good of a football team, and you give up an 18-point lead at the crib, right? So this is a coach, a team, and a Russ problem because you're not finding ways to win 18-0, and you ain't finding ways to win when you score 33 points. So this, to me, is a team problem, not just Russ.
Well said.
You remember when the Let Russ Cook movement started? And there was a big wave for that, right?
Yeah.
And then there was like a quiet pushback of,
Slowing down.
Is that actually what's going to make this offense be successful, or do we just get really in love with the spinny things that Russ does, where he's like this, and he's going in the circles, and he's throwing it, and he makes those very exciting plays?
Yeah.
But is that what the plan was? Is that what they wanted to happen, or is this just what Russ decided to happen, and because he was athletic enough, he pulled it off? I asked that because Colin pointed this out earlier on The Herd. Watch The Herd and all of our other shows. In the first half, they look really good.
Mm-hmm. Look good.
In the second half, not so much. You always say it. We do it to start the show. When is it scripted? What is Sean Payton's offense? Very precise, right? When is the game scripted? In the first half.
Right.
You should be able to make adjustments, and you should be able to use your game plan in the second half as efficiently as you did in the first half, particularly if you're a better team and a better quarterback. But the statistics don't show that. Also, how long is he holding on to the ball? Yes, he's getting sacked a lot. Yes, there are some things going on the offensive line. He's holding it for 3.15 seconds. That's the fourth highest in the NFL. Bryce Young, Deshaun Watson, and Zach Wilson are the only ones that are higher. So he's holding the ball a lot, too. That doesn't help your offensive line if you're not getting it out fast, right? That's what we were not worried about with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, because he gets the ball out fast. So whose fault is it? Look, the defense could have got some stops. Maybe they're not playing at the highest level yet. Maybe there's still some adjustments to the offense that need to happen. But those things aren't helping either, and that's on Russ.
I'm with you. I think, like, it's the Broncos have a Broncos problem, but Russell Wilson is a face of the Broncos. So as long as he's a face of the Broncos, to some degree, they have a Russell Wilson problem. Last 8 drives, the only touchdown he scored was on a fluke Hail Mary. You can call it not a fluke if you don't. I challenge you to rewatch it, and you'll probably deduce it was a fluke. The last 8 drives, that's all they had. Now, Russ came out cooking. Touchdown. Touchdown.
Come on now.
Touchdown. 21-3, really, that should be blouses. Y'all know what it is. 21 skunk give up sticks.
Come on now.
So 21-3, like, it should be blouses. But in the National Football League, you got to find a way to put them away. And the only thing where I'm at, Shady, is like, Russ just doesn't look special. He looks good. Russ, if you're watching this, you look good. But he doesn't look special. And I need him to look special.
I agree with that. He don't look special, but he looks solid.
Yes.
Right? He's
Cosign.
nowhere near solid.
Cosign.
And this is my thing. As much as we want to, I guess, talk bad and critique Russ' game, right? He played solid enough to win this game.
He did.
Like
No
Russ ain't
doubt.
out here letting them dudes get 35 points.
No doubt.
You see what I'm saying? And then as far as the scripted thing, I mean, the first quarter's probably scripted. Other than everything else is
ball.
Yeah, it's playing ball. So I look at that part, and the other part is like, yo, as a quarterback, I need you to have a top 5 defense, what they were last year. Go out here, we're gonna run the ball well, and I need you to complete and be efficient on third downs and put points up. That's what we want you to do from Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
For the most part, he did that. 35 points, though, bro, is a lot of points.
It is.
And you ain't gonna get no Eagle offense, no Chiefs offense. You wanna get the Commanders.
My point exactly.
They throwing screens. Did you see the game? They
Yeah.
throwing a whole bunch of screens and all this crazy. Ain't like they was out here just dialing it up and just dicing it up.
Yeah.
I put that game on the defense.
I don't
I'm gonna keep
disagree.
it up on
But
the defense.
here's the problem, though, Jay. If they lose the games where Russ plays well, and then you lose the games where Russ plays poorly,
They in trouble, Acho.
you know what I'm saying?
They in
Like,
trouble.
'cause all you're doing is losing. No
Yeah.
matter how you slice it, no matter how you
That's
dice
what I'm
it.
saying. And to me, you can't do that to Russ.
Yeah.
You can't do that to him. Right? I can't go out here and play well and we lose and it's my fault. You can't go out here and play bad and we lose and it's my fault.
Right.
But at the end of the day, though, I go back to the fit. Like you talked about the fit maybe last week sometimes with Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. He was so conservative in that second half because they was up. Right? You come out aggressive, you throwing posts, you throwing go balls, you throwing all that.
He was throwing deep balls too.
And then
Give my boys love, man.
then the
Okay,
second
Russ.
half, you come out, you trying to run it, you trying to throw this quick game. Like, that's not Russ.
Yeah.
You know, even though you're trying to protect the lead and you know you don't want to put the defense in harm's way, that's not Russ. So for me, I go back to the fit of these two, and it ain't working out. Even though Russ is playing well, he played well last week, even though he was checking the ball down a lot, he played well. But for Russ, we can't keep blaming it on him. I play well, we lose. I play bad, we lose, and it's my fault. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, you got to put some on Sean Payton. Eventually, you got to put some on this defense and this team. And that's why I say this is a team problem because they're not finding ways to win football games close or when they up.
Final thought, Joy.
I do think it was a team loss yesterday.
No question.
For sure. It was, the offensive line wasn't great. The defense could have done better. He had 56.4 completion percentage in the second half. He had an interception and a fumble.
Yeah. Say what?
That's 2 turnovers.
54?
56.4.
56.
Yes,
In the second half. He had an interception and a fumble. Both count as turnovers, right? That did that help the situation? No. He was sacked 6 times. I already went over how long he's holding the ball on top of that. So the offensive line, let's give him half of those sacks. So can we put the other 3 on Russ? I'm not saying that he didn't play well, but like he played well.
Right.
They don't need him to play well. He's not being paid to play well. He's not Russell Wilson because he plays well.
I disagreed.
Are we giving him this grace because we want to give Russell Wilson grace? Or are we giving him this grace like would we be talking about any other quarterback not named Russell Wilson because we all want Russell to do well?
No, what I'm saying
Not
is
well.
if you have that type of defense and y'all put up 35 points, I mean, that type of defense and y'all put up 32 points, 33 points, y'all should win that game. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Russ or if it's Mahomes. If you put up 33 points and y'all can't stop 35 points, it's on the defense. Yeah. And after the game, I'm going right to, yo, man, what's up, man? Hey, Acho, what's up, bro? We put up 33 points. What y'all doing? Am I tripping?
No, you're not.
Come on now.
You're not tripping, but
because the defense is that good. Hold on, last thing, the defense is that good. It ain't like it's a regular defense. That's a top-tier defense.
Because the defense is that good, I co-sign you completely.
I mean, if we were sitting here,
Let Russ live, man.
If we were sitting here even before this game happened, and we said Russ going to throw for 300,
right. There you get that point.
That scored 33.
Yeah, that part.
And the
turnovers?
And the Broncos going to lose. He had 1 turnover, right?
Yeah, to the phone.
And the Broncos going to lose. We wouldn't have thought they was going to give up 35 to the Commanders.
That's fair.
And the Commanders ain't got no great offense like that.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.